Syria's interim president is promising to protect the rights of Druze people in the country, a day after Israel launched airstrikes on the Syrian Defense Ministry in Damascus. A convoy of Israeli military vehicles could be seen driving into the Syrian side of the border following days of escalating violence. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the military has been, quote, working to save our Druze brothers, while interim Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa said Israel was causing a large-scale escalation. Now, Druze from both countries are protesting after days of clashes. CBC's senior correspondent Sasha Petrusik joins us now from Jerusalem with more on this. So, Sasha, the Syrian government says it has now reached a new ceasefire with leaders of the Druze religious minority. What is Damascus saying about these Israeli strikes?
Well, Arthi, it has been controversial. Of course, Syria is trying to figure out how to deal with this. It doesn't really have the power to push back. But on the other hand, it is not happy with them. This morning, interim President Ahmed al-Sharaa made a speech on television. It was televised, and in it he pointed out that that these strikes, these airstrikes by Israel, were causing discord, endless chaos, and were threatening to destabilize the entire Middle East because it's spreading the conflict, a conflict which, as we've seen it in different parts of the Middle East, is now moving into Syria. He has I guess he has a problem as far as the south is concerned. Israel has said that that they will not put up with Syria sending its troops south of Damascus, which is essentially the whole southern part of Syria, that they are going to strike back or they're going to react. So if there is the kind of conflict that we have seen over the past few days in the south and in an area called Sweda where the Druze live, that is a problem for Damascus because the only way they'd be able to deal with it would be with their own military. So it's a conundrum. At the same time, though, he has been trying to reassure minorities in Syria, the Druze and others, that they are a priority, that their rights and freedoms will be protected, because that has been one of the main concerns in that area for, well, really ever since this new government came to power, because the interim president himself has a background as a jihadist fighter. So it's not clear to many of these groups whether he's bringing his old ideology to the office of president or whether he will stand up for them. That's what's been causing all of this. We've seen more than 200 deaths in the south over the last few days before this ceasefire came into effect, with fighting between the Druze and Bedouin and the military, the government military as well. And now that there does seem to be a ceasefire, it's not clear if that will hold. But for now, things have calmed down. There has been criticism, though, from the international community. Turkey, in particular, has said that they do not accept what Israel is doing. This is what one of their officials had to say.
There is a clear pattern here. If left unchecked, this pattern risks wider destabilization. This is exactly what's going on in Syria. Israeli aggression is threatening the fragile peace that Syrian people paid a high price to reach. These attacks are deepening the ethnic fault lines across the region. It should be clear to all of us by now, Israel doesn't want peace, Israel doesn't want stability.
Now, Turkish President Recep Erdogan has even called the president of Syria and said that Syria has Turkey's support in all of this, presumably against Israel. So that is where this potential destabilization could be going, or perhaps it could be just threats. We're not sure exactly where the two sides are standing on it. Arthi?
Now, Sasha, this recent escalation follows several outbreaks of sectarian violence in southern Syria, as you touched on, over the past 8 months. What can you tell us about that?
This particular outbreak was triggered a few days ago when a merchant was on his way from Ceuta to Damascus, and the story is that he was kidnapped. That's what we are hearing from inside Syria, and that triggered something that has been boiling, percolating for quite some time. This conflict between minority groups, the Druze in this case, as well as the Bedouin, but there are many other groups in the area that have also had their own grievances, their own militias. So at this point, that kind of friction, that kind of tension continues, and it has been going on for many months. Israel stepped in because the Druze community in southern Syria, there's about 500,000 in Syria. There's another 120,000 or so in Israel itself, in the Druze community. And Israel is saying that it had to respond because it was protecting part of that Druze community, which is an important one here in Israel. But many others are looking at this and saying that Israel is looking for an opportunity to spread its military in the region for its own security reasons, as well as to control more area, and that this was that opportunity. But in any case, that conflict between minority groups is one that's not going to go away, and it is on Israel's border. So we could see further conflict and further strikes like we have.
That is the CBC's Sasha Petrusik in Jerusalem. Thank you.